Eventually, I was, 13 then. I became too good. So he had said, I have to take you somewhere else for someone that could take you to the next level. And so I went and I met Customato. And meeting him was...
Did you know who he was
I
historically?
had no
He trained
idea.
Floyd
I
Patterson?
had no idea about boxes.
Wow.
I was just doing this stuff. And I boxed with Bobby, and Bobby he like bloodied my nose. He beat me up pretty bad that particular time because I was really putting it on, trying to impress Cuss. And Cuss said, this is the next champion, providing he doesn't lose interest. So he said how old he was. And I said, he's 13. Then Cuss said he's lying. He doesn't want to go to prison with the grown adults, so he said he was 13.
Wow.
And so Bobby stood, because everything Cuss says is the Bible. And so he said, tell me the truth. After all these years, I've been there 2 years with him, and I said, tell me the truth. How old are you? I said, I'm 13. I'm 13. He says, tell me the truth. I said, I'm 13. So he got my birth certificate, found out I was 13. And then cussing those guys just automatically, I didn't even agree to it. They said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to be heavyweight champ. You're going to win the Olympics. You're going to win the gold medal. You're going to do this. And you're going to become heavyweight champ. You're going to be this and that. And I didn't want him to think I was afraid. And one day, I had a couple of amateur fights, and I'm fighting. I'm 15 now. I had a couple of championships, and we're watching. Excuse me, but
That's
we're
okay.
watching.
That word goes around here easily.
we're watching Ali fight Larry Holmes.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Was it when Holmes beat him?
Yeah.
Beat Ali?
it was really bad.
Yeah.
Excuse me if I cry. It's really bad, real bad. So, God, oh man, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Thank you for sharing it, brother.
So God said, are you ready to face and hand of the throne in this man? After he beat up Ali, that was his goal. And he taught me to become the greatest fighter in the world. I'm sorry I can't talk.
Oh, it's beautiful, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your vulnerability, brother.
I just don't know where it came from. I just don't know how I meet this old man. He made me this fighter.
He made you into this.
I still don't understand that to this day.
Still don't understand.
Who is he? Where'd he come from? What his life was like?
Yeah. But he loved you.
Yeah.
And at one point he even adopted you, didn't he?
Yeah, when I was 16, when my mother died.
Yeah.
My mother died of cancer.
Yeah. And so he adopted you, and he was your mother, your father, your mentor.
My psychiatrist, yeah, my therapist, he was everything, yeah.
And he taught you to fight like nobody else. But you even went, I already had you hypnotized at times. Tell me about that.
Yeah, no,
What was he hypnotizing you to do?
He was a hypnotist as well, and he believed that he could reach the subconscious but only special people can that happen to it. It can't reach anybody. You have to believe in it because it's something that's very complex to believe in. I'm not gonna believe somebody's gonna tell me something and this is gonna appear. So it's hard for people to even really believe this can exist. But I believed everything Cuss told me. Everything he told me, I believed it.
Yes.
And so that's what it was like.
I'm going to jump for a moment. We're going to come back to this time, but
okay,
because you mentioned something, I'll give you a little breather here.
Yeah, thank you. Every time I talk about,
I give a head for starters here, right?
Thank you.
Thank you for your vulnerability, brother. It's real. It's fucking real. That's what everybody's looking for is real. We live in a world where everything's bullshit. Everybody's putting the polish on it and making their Instagram look good. This is real shit. So you watched Ali, one of the greatest men in history, right, before you.
Yeah.
And he gets his ass beat. And Larry Holmes was not nice about it.
Not at all.
He was ego, man.
Not at all.
He was in his face. And I know you remember when you had the fight where you're fighting Larry Holmes and Muhammad Ali did the introduction. What did he tell you?
They get him for me.
And what happened?
I got him.
Pretty awesome. So let me bring back to Cuss. So he's training you. He's pitching this. At what point did you start to believe this? At what point did you start to believe?
When I was 14.
That's when you started to believe you could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you started winning, and then he dies. It's almost like a Rocky story, man.
Yeah,
he dies. He dies when you're how old?
What, I'm 19.
Yeah. And then you become the youngest heavyweight champion in the world a year later.
Yes, I did.
And what was your mission when you were going out there? Like when he died, what did it do to you, and how'd you use it?
Wow, man, in all due respect, this is just, my mission was just to destroy everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you did it because you loved him and you wanted to make him proud. Am I right or wrong about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was how much love
you
you had for.
That's true, but I really, as I got older in life, I had to deal with demons with that. I felt I was that kind of person that really my objective was just to hurt people as much as possible.
Yeah.
not just beat them, but just to really hurt them so they never forget me. And that was just my goal. That's what I learned from Cuts. That's all I knew. And he didn't have much time to teach me because he died shortly. He only had 7 to 6 years to be, to teach me anything. So what he had to teach me was fighting.
Yeah. He turned you how to, I remember when we met 21 years ago, you said he turned me how to turn the lights on and how to turn the lights off, but not really how to turn off that emotion, how to do it in the ring.
Exactly.
How to not, like when somebody's hurting you, not to feel it, not to sense it, not to get scared. When you told me after the Holyfield, you told me that the reason I lost that fight is because I got pissed. You said, I never get pissed in the ring.
Exactly.
Tell me about that.
I lost discipline. Normally, I'm a disciplined fighter. I normally beat people I deal with under pressure. But for that particular incident, I just lost it that day. I was getting headbutt. I was frustrated. I felt I wasn't being listened to or heard, and I felt numbness. And I just lost my temper, and I just didn't care.
When he headbutted you, you felt it was unfair, and they didn't do anything about it, right?
Yeah.
And you just lost it, and that made the difference. When we were together, you said something I'll never forget. Here you're quoting all the stuff, and you were telling me about your prison time, and you were saying to me, man, the only place people are equals in prison. And I remember I talked about, the warden talked about it afterwards and said that when you came there, like, there's the whites, there's the blacks, there's the Mexicans, all these divisions based on race. And you came in and said, man, what are we doing fighting each other, man? Like, you said, nobody gives a shit about us. We're the only ones who care about each other.
When I was
and you
there,
brought them
there
together.
never any fights.
Tell them about that.
When I was there, there was never no race violence, never no fights.
How'd you pull that off? You convinced them what?
Hey, listen, I used to convince everybody that we're all brothers. We're here together. We're doing this time, and no one cares. People were dying in there. We don't care we're dying. No one's coming here to give you a ribbon and say, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah. But this love that was in you, in spite of what you were trained to become, they trained you to be a beast, but they couldn't take away your heart. They couldn't take away your love.
That was just time. It was just time for me to heal.
Yeah.
I was bitter, and I took it out on other people. I took it out on myself, and I didn't know how to deal with any adversity at that degree, at that particular time of my life.
Well, you told me, I remember you told me you were describing the first time you saw one of these. I don't know why. You told me it was a Sally Jesse Raphael show. I remember it vividly. You were describing this Aryan brother, this big motherfucker, you said, and he had kill, N's on the front of it, the N-word, right? And you said to me something so insightful, even though you were in so much pain, I never forgot it. You said, you know what, Tony? He said, those guys want power because they don't have love. How did you figure that shit out?
Well, because I'm one of those guys. I never experienced love. My love was hurting people. Yeah. The more people I hurt, the more love I receive.
Yeah.
And it just was a time in my life I grew up and I lived that life and I received love and I saw what love done once I became involved with my wife and we started having kids. And even though I had children before, I'd never been in a relationship when I was totally